I am a 22-year-old female, go to a university with a fairly large campus. There are two bus stops, one near the main part of the campus and the other one at the end of the parking area by the vet buildings. I usually use the new one, but I used to have a lecture that ended at around 6:30 p.m. that was in one of the vet buildings, and I didn't want to walk up the hill to the new one when the old stop was closer. That almost got me into a world of trouble. So it was already dark and it started to rain a little. The stop didn't have any shelter back then, and it wasn't well illuminated as there was only one street light off the side of the road. I was standing under my umbrella in near darkness, praying for a bus when, lo and behold, a bus. But as I got closer, my heart sank. Not in service was flashing across the sign of the front. It was just gonna go past me. But then the driver must have seen how miserable I looked, or maybe he realized how dangerous it was when I hadn't. Either way, he stopped. He pulled over and told me to hop in, and not bother tagging on, so I even got a free ride. So I hopped out of the station, thanking him profusely, and made my way home none the wiser. The next day, I told my friend what happened, and she told me this. About 5 minutes after I got on that bus, a girl was attacked near her car about 10 meters from where I'd been standing. She luckily got away and ran back to the vet building, and the guy took off. I don't know if they ever caught him. I have to wonder if that guy was there while I waited for the bus, and what would have happened if that angel of a driver hadn't picked me up. Would I have been attacked instead of her? That thought chills me to the bone, and I don't use that stop unless I'm with a friend now, and certainly not after dark. A few years ago, I was on my way home. I usually take the bus even though I'm pretty uncomfortable with strangers being too close to me, but I have no driver's license and therefore not much of a choice. Anyways, I'm sitting there, next to the window, listening to music as a man sits down next to me. I don't think much of it. The bus is pretty full. I slide a little closer to the window so that the man does not come close to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I notice that he keeps looking at me, which makes me very uncomfortable, so I obviously look out of the window to try to ignore him. I'm getting pretty nervous at this point. Luckily, we're close to my stop. As the bus drives up to said stop, I shuffled around a bit to get up halfway. As far as I'm concerned, this is a normal social clue for strangers on a bus that I want to get out this stop and for them to let me get past their seats. Well, this guy doesn't see it that way. So I take out my earbuds and tell him politely that I need to get out of this stop and ask him to let me go through. He grins and says no. I didn't want to push him past him because he has direct access to my body and I'm now really anxious. I think he seizes and takes up even more space so that I cannot get past him. I also notice that he looks really unkempt and is about double my age. I was around 26 at the time. Also, I'm a rather petite girl, and I do not come across as very threatening or something. So I say it again that I have to get out, this time very loud, so that the other passengers can hear me and help in case of an emergency. The man lets me pass, but still does not give me much space. When I finally get out, and walk in the direction of my apartment, I notice that he is behind me. I got scared. It is winter, and even if it's not too late, it is very dark, and in the city is not much going on. I call a friend and ask if I can come to her so the man will not find where I live. We're on the phone all the way until I'm with her. When I finally arrive, I turn around for the first time. The man was still there and grins at me. In the apartment, we keep looking out of the window, but the man is gone, and my friend walks me home later. I haven't seen the man since then, but I'm still nervous about having to take the bus and always trying to be as close to the driver as possible. So this happened about 2 years ago when I was 20. A little backstory. I'm a quite small female. I was doing some shopping in town alone. I still remember that it was a warm Sunday afternoon. People were out with their families and it was a quite busy day in the city center. I had some free time, so I decided on paying my grandma a visit. To get to her place, you needed to take a 20-minute bus ride from where I was. So to the story. I was waiting for my bus when I noticed this man staring at me. He wasn't much older than I was, and I still remember he had a bright yellow hat. I usually don't care when someone looks at me, but this man was staring at me with some sort of anger, like if I had done something to him. Most people in the bus stop were either facing the traffic or looking at the coming buses, but not him. He had his back to the traffic and was just staring at me. I had a weird feeling about him, but I saw my bus coming and just hoped he wouldn't get in. Except he did. I quickly sat in the window seat, and luckily for me, this old lady sat next to me. This old lady was like a shield between me and this guy. He stood next to our seat for almost the whole ride, except for pacing around oddly a couple of times. I was already quite freaked out, and I was texting my boyfriend at the time throughout it. While he hadn't actually done anything to me, I just had a really bad gut feeling. A few stops before mine, the old lady sadly got off the bus. The guy's behavior became even more weirder. He sat next to me, which made me completely tense up. I refused to even look at my phone or text anyone, in case he saw anything he could use to look me up later. I think he sensed me tensing up, so he got up and went back to either standing next to my seat or pacing around the bus. My stop came, and I waited until the last moment to get off the bus. Sadly, he also managed to get off the bus. What followed confirmed that he was indeed after me. I guess in an attempt to pull me off again, he ran ahead of me on the road and kept glancing back. Him doing so actually gave me the only out from the situation. You see, if he would have kept walking behind me, I would have been forced to A, either make a run for the apartment door and hope I was fast enough to close the door before him, or B, run in another direction and just hope I would just reach any safe place before him. I was out of the city center now, and there weren't many people around either to help me. So in that split moment, I decided to turn around, walk in the other direction and die on my mom. It's a pretty bad idea, but I decided to call my mom in case anything happens to me, so she would know who it was. I told my mom what happened, and she told me to make a run for it. Down the road there was a small burger place that would have a security guard. She told me to run for it and just tell them what was going on. So I did. I glanced back and saw the guy running after me, which almost made me cry. Luckily I reached the burger place before he even caught me. From the window I saw him crossing the road. I guess him seeing me get into the burger place threw him off. I have no idea what he fixated on me or what his plans were if he caught me. I'm not sure if I even want to know.